Good morning, students. Welcome to day 2 of batch 291. Am I audible to you guys? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you for confirming, students. So let's take a quick recap of what we have discussed yesterday in the session. Yesterday in the session, we discussed about what actually the Python is. So any one of you can raise your hand and answer me what actually the Python is. Forgot. Okay. Tell me, students, when the Python was conceived? When was the Python conceived? Very good. And in 1980. And when was it implemented? Officially, it was released on who is the father of Python? Come on, students. Some of the students are answering very good. Aneet Samara, Udo Van Rossum, very nice. Very nice. Can you tell me about the features? Yes, we can call the Rossum also. Can you tell me about the features? Do you remember the features? Okay, how many versions are released till now? Yes, platform independent, very good. 3 versions. Very nice. And right now, which version we are using? Which version we are using? 3.12, yes, 3.12.2, right, very good. So all of you remember whatever we have discussed in the session yesterday. That's very nice. Let's proceed further. Let's proceed further and take a quick recap. See, let's take a quick recap so that the students who were not there will come to know about it. Python is a general purpose, simple, platform independent, highly interpreted and high level programming language. Kinds of application we can develop with the help of Python is website development, development of gaming application, artificial intelligence, desktop GUI, image processing, text processing, audio and video based applications, web scraping, business, in the schools, in the industry, study, the education programs, numerical and complex mathematical operations, software development, operating system installers, CAD and CAM-based applications, automation industry, animation of applications, data analysis and data analytics. Right? Now, History of Python, we have already discussed. It was conceived in year 19 and brought into the action in 1989 as per you also. Some of the students have answered very well. Python programming language was officially released in 1991, February 20. Developed by Guido van Rossum at Centrum Visconti Informatica, that is CWI. CWI Institute in Netherlands. ABC programming language is the predecessor of the Python programming language. Now it is taken care by non-commercial organization, that is Python Software Foundation. Website is www.python.org. 3 versions are released. 1.x, which is 1.1, 1.2 till 7. It is outdated now, so Python does not support backward compatibility. Then Python 2.x, where 2 is the major version, and till 7, we have the minor versions. Now, we have Python 3.x, and the latest version is 3.12. Okay. We recommend you to download the Python 3.12.1 or 3.12.2 version from its official website. Now let's take a quick recap of the features. Let's take a quick recap of the features. Features are what? Nothing but the services or facilities provided by the language developers in the language. They are used by the language programmers for developing the real-time applications. And Python program provides 11 features. It has 11 features. What are those? Simple, freeware and open source, platform-independent language, dynamically typed programming language, interpreted programming language, high-level programming language, robust, extensible, embedded, both functional and object-oriented. It also supports the third parties APIs like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, SkyPy, Scikit, etc. It is inspired from the 4 different programming language. It has learned functional programming from C, object-oriented programming from C++, modular programming language from Modulo 3, and scripting from Perl. Now, let's talk about the features. First is simple. It is simple because of its 3 factors. First is its rich set of APIs. APIs are the libraries. But if we want to go ahead with the full form, that is Application Programming Interface. Now, APIs is a collection of modules. And how it is useful, I'll tell you in the next classes. Module is a collection of functions, variables, and classes like calendar, math, CMath, OS, remodule, random, etc. Factor 2, it has a garbage collector facility. What does it do? It removes the unused memory space and improves the performance of Python-based application. So garbage collector takes care about the automatic memory management. Third factor is it provides the user-friendly syntaxes so that the Python programmer can develop the error-free program in limited span of time. Second, it is platform-independent language. Why it is platform-independent language? Because data types remain same on all the OSs. In effective platform-independent language, all types of values will be stored in the form of objects. And they can store unlimited amount of data, as we can store in Python. Java object contains size restricted, where Python objects contain unlimited size and unlimited values can be stored. And all the values are stored in the form of objects. Third is freeware and open source. It is called as freeware because it can freely download it. We can freely download it from its official website, that is www.python.org. Okay, open source. The standard name of Python is CPython. So some of the company vendors came forward and customized the CPython and used the customized version and in-house tools in the company. Such type of customized versions of Python are called the distributions of Python, like JPython used for running the Java-based applications. IronPython used for running the C#.NET applications. MicroPython used to develop microcontrollers. RubyPython used to Ruby-based applications, used to run Ruby-based applications. Anaconda Python, which is used to run Hadoop applications. Hadoop means big data applications. Now we have discussed about the static type and dynamically typed programming language. Python is a dynamically typed programming language, not the static type, because in static type, we need to define a variable on our own. Okay, otherwise we'll get the compile time error. But in Python, we need not to define it. As soon as we'll write print a type of A, we will come to know that what type of variable or data it is, right? So all the values in Python programs are stored in the form of objects. Now, interpreted programming language. Just a second. Let's go back. Let's go back. Now, let's go ahead. Now, is it clear to everyone? Any other questions you people have, you can ask me right now. Any one of you has any question can ask me right now. Please raise your hand and ask me the question if you have any. So give me the response. Is everything clear to you guys? Shall we proceed with the rest of the features? Only one student has understood everything. Rest of the students are sleeping in the class, I think. Students, it's good morning. Please respond. It's a morning time. Okay, let's proceed with the features of Python. Now, when we are proceeding with the features of Python, first of all, we need to know that it is an interpreted programming language. Okay, night for some of us. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I know it's morning in India, but it is night for some of you guys. Okay, no problems. Let's proceed. So should I say good morning or good night to all of you? What should I say? Sometimes good morning for all who has good morning and good night for all who has good night. Okay, will that be okay? Let's proceed. Okay, you're from Montreal. Okay, good. Good evening. Very nice. Let's proceed now. Let's proceed. Now, as I've told you, it's interpreted programming language. Now, what do we understand by interpreted programming language. Students, whenever we develop any Python program, we need to give some file name. And whenever we give the file name, we need to save it with the extension .py. Means file name .py. Like I'm writing a program and I want to save that file where I'm doing addition. So I can save that file addition.py with the name of addition.py. .py is compulsory to write. So whenever we execute the Python program, two processes takes place internally. Now, what are those two processes? One is a compilation process. Second is an execution process. First process is compilation process and second is an execution process. So what do we understand by compilation process? First, we need to understand compilation process. Now, let's go ahead. Now, when we talk about the compilation process, Python source code submitted to the Python compiler. Whenever we have the source code, it will be submitted to the Python compiler. It reads the source code, check for the errors. If the errors found, then it will give the error. Error will be displayed. If no error will be found, it will check for the syntaxes. And if no error will be found, then what will happen? It will convert it into the bytecode with an extension .py. So whatever file we saved with the .py extension will be converted into extension file name .py. This is an internal process. Okay. And in execution process, the PVM reads the Python intermediate code. What is that? Bytecode. Line by line and convert it into the machine understandable code. Now, what is a language which machine understands? That is a binary code. We all know. It reads by the OS and processor and finally gives result in the form that user or end user or programmer will understand. Let's understand it with the help of flowchart. But before that, let's in Python program execution, compilation process and execution process is taking place line by line conversion, and it is one of the interpretation-based programming language. Now, what is PVM? PVM means Python Virtual Machine. It is one of the program in Python software whose role is to read line by line of bytecode and convert it into the machine understandable code. That is executable or binary code. Now let's understand it. Python execution environment. See, now what happened is we saved a file. This is a source code. We have saved a file sum.py. Sum.py, right? Now what happens is the compilation process takes place internally. This is an internal process. It reads the course in the Python compiler, compilation phase, it reads the code line by line. And it reads the code line by line. And if any error found, that error will be displayed on the console. If no error will found, it will convert it into the intermediate code that is sum.pyc. This is a bytecode. This is known as bytecode. After converting the bytecode, after converted into bytecode, PVM, what will the PVM do? PVM means Python Virtual Machine. It will execute, the execution process takes it will read the bytecode line by line and convert it into the machine understandable format, that is binary code, which is read by the OS and processor, and finally gives the result which the programmer or the user end user will understand. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Any questions? If you have any questions here, you can raise your hand or you can ask me right now. Is it clear to everyone, dear? How the Python execution process takes place? Very good. Very good. Very good. Now, after this, can there be any error after the compilation process? Yes, when we are proceeding, see, when we are proceeding with the compilation phase and we are checking, reading the code line by line, and if error is found, if any error is there, we will get the error displayed on the console. If nothing is there, it will definitely convert it into the intermediate code that is sum.py. Intermediate code will be a bytecode. And then the PVM executed, it read it line by line, the bytecode, convert it into the machine understandable language, and finally gives result which is understandable by the end user or the programmer. Let's proceed further. Now, it is a high-level programming language. We have two types of programming languages. One is low-level programming language and second is a high-level programming language. Where the Python virtual machine, what is the purpose of intermediate code? See, it's mentioned here. It will convert, this is an internal process here. It will convert it into the intermediate code in order to check for the errors. This is because this is understandable by the machine. This is not understandable by us. Okay, as we studied in when we were kids, we studied that everything, whichever we store, is stored in the format of binary in the machine. Right? Am I right? So it will convert it into the intermediate code, which is a byte code, and then it will be converted into the binary code read by the OSS and gives result. See, everything is mentioned here. Once you go through the notes, you will come to know each and everything. Everything is, it verify the syntaxes, and if no error found, then Python compiler converts it into the intermediate code. If the error is there, then the source code will display the error on the console. Is it clear now? Is it clear to everyone now? Now, let's go ahead. Now, we were discussing about high-level programming language. It is a high-level programming language. In general, we have two types of programming language. One is low-level programming language and second is high-level programming language. So let's discuss what is the difference between low-level programming language and high-level programming. Low-level programming language is a program is a language if it means in whatever data we'll write, whether it is in binary format, whether it is in octal format, or whether it is in hexadecimal format. It won't be able to convert it into the decimal format, because decimal format is a format which is understandable by the end user and the program. Do you understand this? What is this? Do you understand this? What is this? Which number is this? No. No. Do we understand this? The octal format. What is this? No. Do we understand this? No. So we have four, if we talk about the number system, we have four types of number system. One is a decimal number system, binary number system, octal number system, and hexadecimal number system. Decimal number system is a system which is understandable by everyone. It has the digits 0 to 9. But here, if the form, it's in 0B111111, it's in the binary data, we won't be able to understand it. So that is why some of the languages are low-level programming language. But if we talk about the Python programming language, even we represent the data in the lower level data like binary, octal, and hexadecimal, the high-level programming language convert it into the decimal numbers data, which is understandable by end user, and Python is one of the high-level programming language. Let's take an example. Let's take an example of this. Let's take A is equal to 0B. See, I'm writing in the binary format. That is why I need to write 0B. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Do you understand what is this? Do you understand what is this? No. So what I'll write is print A. See, we have got the answer in the decimal format. Now, is this understandable by everyone? Is this understandable by everyone? Yes. Yes. So it will convert it into the high-level programming language. In whichever format we'll write it, we'll get the output in the decimal number system. Let's take A is equal to. Now I'm writing the octal number system. For that, I need to write 0O. Whether it can be in the capital format also, 0O. Now, let me write 5, 2, 3. Now, print A. What is this? It is 339. Now, let's go ahead with the hexadecimal. 0x. 0x. Let me write space. Now, if I write print A, I'll get the output. Clear to everyone? So that is why now how this internal process takes place, how this conversion will take place, we'll study further. Till here, is it clear why it is high-level programming language? Yes. Very good. Okay, one of the students has raised the hand. Okay. Yes, please unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Mujibur Rahman.
Okay.
The value is stored as 00523, but in the print command, this Output is 339.
In the paint command, it is 339.
Yeah.
In the PDF,
Previous one, previous screen.
previous screen, just a
Yeah.
second.
That interpretation screen.
You're talking about this, if I'm not wrong. Just a second. Yes, you're talking about this.
Yeah, correct. 0023, correct. Yeah.
It
Octal.
does, it does not matter. It has till 8. It has till 8. I'll tell you about the octal format also. How many digits it has. So I have taken 523. I have taken, if you want me to convert this, I can convert this also. Let me show you. 0023. Even I have taken in the capital. See, I can take this. A is equal to 0023, right? Now print A.
Okay, got it. It is octal format. It is converting to decimal.
Yes,
Okay,
it is
I got it.
converting to
Okay.
the decimal format.
Okay, fine. I got it. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Students, don't get confused. I'm giving you the answers. So please don't get confused. If you have any question, you can always ask me. I am just rest. I'll tell you how these work, how all of these works. I'll tell you. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, it is a robust programming language. What do we understand by robust programming language? What do we understand by robust programming language? Now, when we talk about robust, it is known to be robust because of its exception handling. Now, what are exceptions? Exceptions are the runtime errors. Whenever we run the program, and then we get the errors in that program, we'll get the exceptions. So, because of its exception handling process, it is a robust programming language. Exception by default generates the technical error messages. And exception handling. Exception handling means converting the technical error messages into the user-friendly error messages is called as exception handling. Like if the technical error message is there for invalid PIN, you are going to the ATM and try to enter the PIN. There you are getting the option invalid PIN. It means it is a user-friendly error message. So converting the technical error message into user-friendly error message is called the exception handling. Like we get the login error. If we, in spite of this, if we'll get the syntax error, name error, and all these logical errors, will we be able to understand this? No. So in order to convert all these error messages into user-friendly error messages, it is called exception handling. Now, if the Python program use exception handling in the Python program, it is a robust programming language. Next is extensible. Extensible means Python programming given, see, now somebody was asking me yesterday, Python programming giving its programming facilities to other languages also. Like C++, which means Python code can also be written in the other languages like C++, Java, and all. Okay, is this clear now? Somebody was asking me this question yesterday. Will we be able to run the code in the C++ or in the Java-based application? Yes. So it is giving its facilities to the other languages also. Hence, Python is one of the extensible programming language. Now, what is embedded? Python programming can call other languages coding segment for fastest execution. For fastest execution, it can also call the other languages coding segment. Like Python code can call the C programming code also for its fastest execution. Now, extensive support for third-party APIs. What does that mean? Extensive support for third-party APIs. Now, as Python libraries or APIs can do many tasks and operations and unable to perform complex operations, and to solve such complex operations more easily and quickly, it takes the help of third-party APIs. Third-party APIs. What is the full form of API, student? Told you yesterday also and today also. Tell me. Automated. Yes. Okay, one student is raising hand again. Rahman, yes. Please unmute yourself.
Application Programming Interface.
Yes. Thank you. So, as Python libraries, APIs can do many tasks and operations and are unable to perform complex operations. In order to solve such complex operations more easily and quickly, it takes the help of third-party APIs such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, SkyPy, Scikit, etc. Okay, student, just please hold for a second. I have an urgent call. I have a client call. I need to attend it. Just hold for a second, please. Just hold for a second. Shall we proceed? Now. Now. Now, after this extensive support of third-party APIs, we are done with the features. Now we are going to discuss about identifiers and literals in Python. Identifiers and literals in Python. What do we understand by literals? Literals in Python are nothing but the values passing to the Python program. Programmatically, whenever we use any Python program, we must enter inputs such are called literals. So whatever input we'll make is called literals or values. So all types of values are called literal. In Python programming, we have 5 types of literals. One is integer literal, floating point literal, str literals, Boolean literals, and collection literals. So literals are nothing but the values passing to the Python program. Now, identifiers. What do we understand by identifiers? Whenever we enter input, whenever we make any input or literal, they are stored in the main memory by allocating sufficient amount of memory space with the help of data type. In order to process the data, which was stored in the main memory as a programmer, we must use some distinct names. These names makes us to identify the values stored in memory space. So all the names which we use are known as identifiers. Now the value of identifiers are changing or verifying during the execution of program. So identifiers are called variables. See, now we have literals, identifiers, and variables. Values. What do we understand by literals? Any input we make is called as input or literals, which are stored in the main memory by allocating sufficient amount of memory space. In order to process the data which is stored in the memory space, programmer gives some distinct name to them. And these names helps us to identify the value stored in the main memory. And such values are known as, such names are known as identifiers. Now, the value of identifiers can be changed during the program execution. So these identifiers are also called variables. So all types of input or literals must be stored in the form of variables. And all type of variables are called objects. As I've told you, everything is saved in the form of objects in the Python. Now, what is a variable? A variable is an identifier whose value can be changed during the execution of the program. Now, we have some rules of the identifiers or the variables in Python. Like, to use variable in Python program, we must follow the following rules. What is that? The variable name is a combination of alphabets, digits, and the special symbol underscore only. It should be a it is a combination of alphabets, digits, and a special symbol underscore only. No other symbol is allowed. And if we talk about the first letter of variable name, it should start with the alphabet or underscore, not with the digit. Not with the digit. First letter of variable should be alphabet or special symbol underscore only. So it should be a combination of alphabet, digits, and underscore only. Let's go ahead with the example. Let's go ahead with the example. Like, sorry. Let's go ahead with the example. Let me write salary is equal to 4.5. It is acceptable. If I write one sal is equal to 45, it is not acceptable. Syntax error. Invalid decimal literal. If I write it is not acceptable. If I write 123 underscore sal is equal to 2.3. Error. Now, in case if I write underscore sal is equal to 4.5, it is acceptable. It is acceptable. Now, it should be the combination of alphabets, digits, or special symbol underscore only. No other symbol is allowed. And it should be started with the alphabet or underscore only, not with the digit also. Not with the digit also. If I write underscore, or I can write sal underscore 1 is equal to 4.5. It is acceptable. It is acceptable. So we need to know that we need to understand this, that this is valid and what is invalid. What is valid and what is invalid. I have given the examples here. I have given the examples here. 1 ABC is equal to 23, it is invalid. If I'll write salary 123 is equal to 45, it is valid. Underscore sal is valid and dollar sal is not valid. Underscore 123 is 5.6, it is valid. Underscore 123 again underscore, it is also valid. Clear? Now, no special symbols. No special symbols are allowed within variable name except underscore only. Please remember, as I've told you, that except underscore, no other symbol is allowed. If we'll try to use the hash, hash is used for commenting in Python. Okay? Hash will not be considered because it is used for commenting in Python. Right? Like, I'll show you. I'll show you. Let's go back. Now, I'm writing salary, salary underscore employee is equal to 45. Employee is equal to 45. Now, right? Now, if I write sal hash employee is equal to 45. Now, it is saying it is 4.5. Why? Why? Because salary is 4.5. It will consider this only. Hash is used for commenting purpose. Hash is used for commenting purpose. It will not be recommended. It will not take it. It will consider salary as 4.5. Is this clear? Students, is this clear? It will take the value as salary 4.5. Yes, good. Now, it is always recommend to use the user-friendly messages. It is always recommended to use the user-friendly messages. A hash sal is equal to 45. It is invalid because A is not defined earlier. Okay. Now, no keywords are used. Like if and else are not acceptable because these are the keywords. If I'll write else is equal to 45, this is invalid because else is a keyword. In spite of that, if I'll write S1 is equal to 56, it is valid. It is valid and acceptable also. It is valid and acceptable also. If is equal to 45, this is invalid. Why? Because if is a keyword. It is invalid because if is a keyword. Underscore if is valid. Integer is equal to 67, it is valid. Why? Because all class names are not keywords. All class names are not keywords. If and else are the keywords. Now, all the variable names are case sensitive, like age is equal to 19, age in the uppercase is 20, age is equal to 21. If we write like this, these all are valid. These all are valid. If I'll write print age in different manners, we'll get the output. We will get the output. Now, we should always recommend to use the user-friendly variable name. What is that? What is that? Let's go ahead with the example. If I'll write total employees in the company is equal to, see, and in the company is equal to 95. It is acceptable. But if I'll write total employees in the company, total um, employees in the company is equal to 95. It is not recommended. Why? Because we are using the special symbol space. Space is considered as a special symbol. This is acceptable, but this is not understandable. So what we'll do is, because we are using the special symbol, Kamal, see, we are giving the space. We are giving the space in the variable. That is why we are getting the error. Here, we have not given any space. It is acceptable. What is acceptable? Special symbol, underscore only, alphabet only, and digit only. But it should start with the alphabet or underscore only. Right? Now, if I'll write total, now underscore, employee, in the company. Is equal to 95. It is also acceptable. It is also acceptable. Clear? So it is always recommended to use Radhika. Anyone wanted to ask the question? No. Okay. Clear. Clear to you. Is this clear to everyone? Very good. Very good. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now, next session will be of data science in Python. Next session will be on data science in Python, which we'll discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last demo session. Tomorrow will be the last demo session. Whosoever wants to enroll, please enroll today itself. Please enroll today itself. Okay. Anything else you want to ask me? PDF will be shared with the paid candidates only. PDF will be shared with the paid candidates only. And in case you have any questions, you can ask me right now. No questions. No questions. So that's all for the session today, students. That's all for the session today. Good evening to all who has the evening and good morning to all who has the morning. Goodbye. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everyone.